When the semester started and we began military training, Luke gave the brown sugar tea I'd bought to his female buddy, Fiona. This time I didn't get angry, jealous, or throw a tantrum. I looked at him calmly and said, "Luke, since we're not right for each other, let's break up." I was completely sincere. He smirked carelessly and said, "Emily, you're the one who said it." I nodded. He pulled out his phone and right in front of me blocked me. "Emily, this time, let's stay apart a bit longer. I need some peace and quiet, and I want to check out other girls in college." With that, he slung his arm around Fiona's shoulders and walked off. His buddies asked him, "Luke, Emily's so pretty. Are you really willing to break up?" He chuckled. "Of course not for good, but we're in college now. I've got to tame that temper of hers and let her suffer a little. I bet you anything, less than 3 days, she'll be crying and begging to make up." That night I called my mom. "Mom, I've decided to study abroad. Please help me start the paperwork." On the last day of training, my period was about to start. Every time it comes, I get mild diarrhea and unbearable cramps. If I'm at home, I usually boil a pot of brown sugar tea. Drinking it warm helps a lot. But with training still going on at school, it wasn't convenient to make tea, so I ordered a traditional brown sugar tea from a dessert shop. When the delivery arrived, a sharp cramp hit and I had to rush to the restroom. I told my boyfriend, "Luke, could you go to the school gate and pick up my delivery?" Then I hurried off. When I came back, I found that my brown sugar tea had already been opened and half of it was gone. Fiona had drunk it. I frowned. "Luke, how could you give my tea to someone else?" Pain twisted through my lower abdomen, and I felt my face go pale. "Your tea?" Fiona bounced over like a grasshopper, holding the cup out to me with wide eyes. "Oh, Emily, I'm so sorry. I thought Luke bought it for me. I mean, I'm the only one among our group who drinks this stuff. My bad. Don't be mad, okay? And don't start crying again. I'm honestly scared of your tears." I took a deep breath, pressed down my irritation, and said evenly, "Fiona, my name is Emily. Could you please stop giving me random nicknames?" The Emmy she used had a weird, mocking lilt to it. "Emmy, cat, same thing?" Fiona said dismissively, shaking her leg with a crooked smile. "You're not even a cat, so why call yourself that?" Luke's friends burst into loud laughter. "So Luke's little girlfriend is a cat, huh? No wonder she's so delicate, she even needs him to pick up her delivery." My brown sugar tea became their punchline. To them, Fiona taking my drink without asking was perfectly natural. I looked straight at Luke. "What's that supposed to mean?" He frowned, impatient. "It's just a cup of brown sugar tea. Why are you making such a fuss?" I couldn't help saying, "You know perfectly well," but the words stuck in my throat. How could I talk about my period in front of everyone, especially the guys? Another wave of cramps hit and I felt the color drain from my face. "Know what?" Luke snapped, irritation edging his voice. Beside him, Fiona pointed at me and laughed. "Fuzzy Emily, you've got a cold womb, huh? I heard women with that can't have kids. Luke, you'll have no heir in the future. Fine, don't cry. I'll give you the brown sugar tea." As Fiona talked, she held the cup out to me. I reached out and grabbed Luke's arm. "Apologize," I said. "What?" Luke looked at me like I'd said something insane, then stared in disbelief. "Emily, you want me to apologize to you? You gave my brown sugar tea to someone else. You should apologize to me." My tone was completely serious. Luke stared at me as if I were crazy and sneered. "What next, Emily? You want me to write a 10,000-word apology and paste it on the school bulletin board for everyone to see? I've really been too good to you. And who gave you the courage to order me around like a servant, making me fetch your takeout?" I drew a deep breath. "If you don't apologize, we're breaking up." I'd barely gotten the words out when Luke hadn't even replied yet, and Fiona jumped in, flustered. No, Fuzzy Emily, don't make a scene. Luke and I are just good buddies. Don't break up with him because of me." That finally set me off. I shouted at her, "Fiona, I've told you many times, stop calling me Fuzzy Emily. Do you not understand plain language? And what do matters between me and Luke have to do with you?" Luke snatched the half-finished cup from Fiona and hurled it at my face. We were so close that I never saw it coming. The tea splashed all over me, and the straw, just my luck, jabbed right into my eye. In an instant, my tears slid down with the brown sugar tea, and I heard Luke's voice in my ear. "Crying all day? Did your dad die or something?" Didn't you say you wanted to break up? Then break up. Just don't come begging within 3 days. I want to check out other girls in college anyway. I can't exactly marry someone who's majoring in so-care. With that, he yanked Fiona by the arm and turned away. I stood there stunned. Yes, my major is so-care. But when I filled out my college application, I clearly put down Chinese language. I got the admission notice, I was admitted, and somehow I was reassigned to so-care. When Fiona found out, she laughed outrageously. In that weird, drawn-out, mocking tone, she taught me. Fuzzy Emily, ha ha ha. Your name and your major really match. Both are animals. I was so furious we had a huge fight. The next day, I got a text from Luke. Emily, Fiona and I went to Jushigo. Come if you want, if not, suit yourself. At the time, I was standing at the boarding gate, craning my neck in anticipation. Back in our freshman year of high school, Luke and I had agreed to travel to Jushigo the summer after graduation. I'd heard the scenery was breathtaking, like a fairyland, and I'd been looking forward to it for so long. After the college entrance exam, I asked Luke to go. Instead, he first accompanied Fiona to her hometown, and the delay stretched into many days. When I confronted him, he said, Emily, can't you have a little sympathy? You know Fiona's family situation. She went back to get her household booklet and other documents for college. I just went along to help. I did know about Fiona's family. Her parents died in a car accident when she was 13. After that, she lived with her grandmother. But her grandmother couldn't keep taking care of her, so Fiona's eldest uncle and aunt took her in. They treated her well. Whatever their kids had, she had too. Maybe to head off gossip, or maybe because her uncle was just kind, she often had even more than the others. They gave her pocket money generously. But she never straightened out and study. She wouldn't. She started rebelling, smoking, drinking, hanging out in internet cafes, getting into fights. She even spread rumors outside, claiming her Uncle Frank had taken over her family's house and money. Once, it got so out of hand that she hit Aunt Linda and put her in the hospital. After that, Aunt Linda didn't dare try to rein her in anymore. The original house from her family was, of course, still there, so they let her move in with Grandma and live at Uncle Frank's place. The money her parents left was also handed over to her. I honestly didn't understand what, exactly, I was supposed to be sympathetic about. When the college entrance scores came out and it was time to fill in our applications, I thought back to my history with Luke. We'd known each other since kindergarten. Our families lived next door, and he'd confessed to me in middle school. I told him we should wait until college. He confessed again in our freshman year of high school. At my birthday dinner, in front of all our relatives and friends, he even promised he'd protect Emily for life. I was moved. We encouraged each other, studied together, aimed to go to the same university, and agreed we'd officially start dating after graduation. Luckily, when the scores were released, we were only a few points apart, so naturally we were headed to the same school. But when the admission letters arrived, I was stunned. My major had been switched from Chinese language to postpartum care. It's true that when I filled out my preferences, I did list that track as part of the same university's options. It's not that postpartum care is bad. Animal husbandry and agriculture are two fundamental pillars of people's livelihoods, but I'm the kind of person who's only ever eaten pork and never seen a pig run. I really didn't know a thing about it. My mom panicked with me, then said, Emily, this is fate. Listen to me, we'll go abroad for school. I knew following her plan would be best, but I couldn't bear to leave Luke, my childhood sweetheart, to be split between two places, worlds apart. I also knew that once I set foot in the elite school my mom arranged, it would mean Luke and I were destined to part. So I smiled and told her, postpartum care isn't so bad. In college I can take all the certifications I need, and after graduation I'll head to Inner Mongolia, get some land and raise cattle, sheep, and pigs, maybe even rare species. I joked, among agriculture, industry, and commerce, agriculture ranks second, so cool. My mom laughed so hard she couldn't stop, and the matter ended there. Meanwhile, Luke asked me to go to Jushigo, something we'd set as a goal back in our freshman year. Get our university admission letters, then travel to Jushigo. I was thrilled. We booked the flights together, and I packed my bags. But I waited at the airport gate for a long time, And in the end, he told me he'd changed his ticket and gone to Jiuzhaigou a day early with Fiona. I stood there for ages, frozen. The airport announcements urged passengers to board again and again, and I sat motionless in my chair. I'm not the type to wallow in melancholy, but at that moment tears brimmed in my eyes. I lifted my chin, trying to keep them from falling. I'd yearned for Jiuzhaigou for 3 years, and I still didn't go in the end. Luke kept texting me, "Emily, did you arrive? Emily, where are you? I'll come get you. Text me back." I held my phone and stared blankly at the screen. Later he got impatient and called. My thumb slipped and I answered, and he found out I hadn't gone to Jiuzhaigou. On the phone he yelled at me, calling me spoiled and temperamental. "Emily, do you have to make everyone miserable? So what if I changed my ticket and came a day early? You just decided not to come. Are you determined to leave a regret in my life? Whatever. Do what you want." After that, Luke and Fiona flooded their social feed with 9 square photo grids day after day, and they even flaunted their sweetness in the student group chat. Jiuzhaigou really was as picturesque as a painting. I just watched in silence. A few close classmates asked whether Luke and I had broken up, and I chose silence every time. As the semester approached, my mom asked me again, "Emily, do you really want to study piglet care? Then after graduation go to Inner Mongolia to raise pigs, cattle, and sheep?" "Piglets are pretty cute." I said nothing for a moment, then admitted, "It's been a week since enrollment, and classes haven't officially started yet. I regret it." I wiped the sticky brown sugar tea from my face. It had mixed with my tears, the sweetness stained with a bitter, salty edge. I asked a classmate to request leave from the drill instructor for me, then calmly returned to the dorm to wash my hair, shower, and change. After that, I called my mom. "Mom, I've thought it through. Animal husbandry isn't for me. I want to study abroad. Is it still possible now?" On the other end, my mom sounded worried. "Emily, are you okay?" "I'm fine," I said evenly. "I've just figured it out. Spring and monsoon seasons are lovely, but they pass in the end." My mom knew about my relationship with Luke, so of course she was concerned. "Going abroad can happen anytime, there's no rush. If you're sure, I'll start the paperwork. After October, you'll need to get ready to leave the country," she said. "Spend time with your friends and say goodbye properly." I agreed with a small smile and hung up. My lower abdomen still hurt badly, so I took 2 painkillers. Right then my phone chimed. It was a message from Fiona. I tapped it and a voice recording played. One of Luke's buddies asked, "Luke, Emily's so pretty. Are you really okay with breaking up?" Luke's lazy drawl came through. "Of course not for good, but we're in college now. I've got to break that temper of hers and make her suffer a little." Someone laughed and egged him on. "Easy, Luke. Don't go so hard you actually drive your pretty girlfriend away." Luke snickered. "No way. She loves me to death. No matter how I treat her, she won't leave. Wanna bet? I guarantee within 3 days she'll come running to make up." Then Fiona's voice cut in. "Luke, if you've got any guts, do it right in one go. Make her kneel and apologize, and only then agree to get back together." Luke laughed. "Deal." There was more chaotic noise on the recording, then it cut off. Fiona followed it with a text. "Fuzzy Emily, have some pride. Don't go groveling back in under 3 days, kowtowing and apologizing." I blocked her with one tap. The next day, my mom confirmed the details for the study abroad application, and my current school began processing my withdrawal. I smiled and said, "Okay. Emily, I have someone handling everything. You don't need to worry about a thing," my mom said, "but you can't change your mind." "Mom? I absolutely won't." "Good," she replied, laughing. For a week, everything was calm. I started to taste the fun of college life. Without Luke and that idiot stirring things up, most people on campus were actually normal. That Friday, I grabbed a simple boxed meal in the cafeteria, found a seat, and planned to head back to the dorm to binge shows afterward. High school had been intense, and I'm not the gifted type. I crammed problem sets like crazy just to get into this top-tier 985 university. Now that I finally had some downtime, of course I wanted to catch up on all the dramas I'd missed, and on the pile of miscellaneous books I loved to read for fun. My good mood broke the moment Fiona showed up. With so many empty seats in the dining hall, she ignored them all and sat right across from me. In that exaggerated, mocking tone, she lectured. "Fuzzy Emily, you're pretty tough this time, huh? It's been a week. How many times have you secretly gone crying to Luke? What's wrong? Luke isn't paying you any mind? You heard I asked him to meet me here for big chicken legs, so you came on purpose to block him? Tsk, be a good girl and apologize to Luke. Stop pretending. I really thought you could stay tough to the end. Look at you, staging this accidental encounter. Oh right, Luke told you to kneel and kowtow an apology. Why not do it today, while the cafeteria is empty? The strained expression she squeezed onto her face made me feel inexplicably sick. Fiona, I've told you many times, don't call me Fuzzy Emily. It makes me angry. My voice was very calm. I know you're angry, she sang out theatrically. I just love it when you're mad and helpless. I stayed calm. I lifted the free seaweed soup the cafeteria provides and flung it into her face. Before she could recover, I swung the stainless steel lunch tray and smacked her across the face. Crack, 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 clean and fast. Fiona shrieked and pitched backward. Her stool hadn't been set right, and she never sat properly anyway. Now, out of control, she crashed hard onto the floor. Her tight mini skirt tore with a rasping sound. Pale thighs flashed, a tea-back thong, a few black curls impatiently peeking out, and vaguely, a hint of fresh red. I grabbed the chicken leg on the table and while she was howling, shoved it into her mouth. One step and I straddled her, fists hammering down on her head. At first, everyone in the cafeteria just froze. Fights usually start with a shouting match, but I'd been placid one moment and throwing punches the next. Then students and cafeteria staff hurried over, pried me off her, and hauled Fiona up from the floor. Fuzzy Emily, I'll tear you apart, she screeched, clutching at her ripped skirt and lunging for me. I snatched up a plastic stool. Fiona, you knew and still went after my boyfriend. I don't even care. Men can be lousy. I can always switch to another. But who gave you the right to slap a nickname on me? What are you exactly? As I spoke, I hurled the plastic stool straight at her. While we were clawing and swinging, Luke rushed in. He grabbed a fistful of my hair and unleashed a brutal slap across my face. A copper-sweet taste rose in my throat. In my ear, Luke's voice, Fuzzy Emily, apologized to Fiona. I turned my head slightly and touched my burning cheek. A bright smear of blood curled at the corner of my mouth, crimson, almost pretty. Luke, I said, already snatching up another stainless tray, what did you just call me? He looked livid, face as dark as iron. It's just a nickname. Why are you being crazy? Now you're even bullying people? Apologize, or I will never forgive you. The tray in my hand whooshed through the air and crashed into his face. At the same time I lunged, cursing, what are you to lay a hand on me? The press-on nails I'd applied just yesterday sliced along his neck like little blades. Women fighting, you're a man and you sneak attack? That's your big skill? Luke had to yank me hard, really hard, before he managed to fling me off. I slammed into a dining table. It felt like my lower back might snap. Thankfully, some classmates steadied me. Luke clutched the scratches on his neck and snarled, "Are you crazy?" 2 of my press-on nails had snapped, taking bits of my real nails with them. Pain lanced straight through, 10 fingers tied to the heart, as they say. I drew a long breath, braced a hand on the table, and stood firm before raising my voice. Classmates, be my witnesses. I was eating here, minding my own business, when that woman came at me like a rabid dog to provoke me. That's not all. She keeps slapping a stupid nickname on me. And this dog of a man? He's been writing me love letters since middle school, confessing with the cheesiest lines over and over. I paused, then said, I eventually accepted his confession. But by senior year he was with another girl, arms around her, kissing, even grabbing her butt. If you don't like me, just say it. We break up. Isn't that how it should be? A lot of students nodded. Dating is simple. Stay if it works, split if it doesn't. It's not marriage. There's no property dispute. But no, I went on, he insists she's his female bro. He hung on to me with one hand while getting cozy with his bro with the other. A week ago I told him it was over and we blocked each other. And now, I looked at Fiona, then at Luke. These 2 scumbags still come to harass and mock me. If I don't hit them, who should I hit? Whispers rippled through the crowd. So he's the jerk and she's the side chick. If he likes the other girl, just date her, why bother the ex? That's what makes him trash, trying to have it both ways. And he hits women too. The girl's right, why's a man jumping into a fight between women? Real trash. And that woman's cheap as hell, female bro? Since when do bros wear thongs? I stared down Luke. I've already asked someone to verify whether you and your female bro tampered with my college major preferences. Once it's confirmed, get ready for a lawsuit. As I said it, I saw both Fiona and Luke go a little pale. Honestly, I was bluffing, but from their faces, I figured my guess might be right. When I got my admission letter, I'd already suspected something. The placement looked like a direct assignment, not an adjustment. Luke knows my ID info and my application passwords. I never bothered to guard them. My dorm mates, hearing I'd gotten into a fight in the cafeteria, rushed over in a panic and took me to the campus clinic. My nails were broken, and bruises were already blooming on my face. When my roommates found out the marks on my face weren't from fighting Fiona but from Luke sucker slapping me, they were furious. A dog of a man hitting a woman? Absolutely not, they kept repeating. It's fine, I told them. We're already done. On Saturday, 2 of my roommates asked me out for a movie and dinner, and I gladly looked forward to it. When we got back, I saw the campus forum had exploded. The entire fight I'd had with Fiona yesterday had been posted there. Because she was wearing an ultra-short pencil skirt and no safety shorts underneath, just a thong, her fall had been downright indecent, and someone had snapped photos and uploaded them to the forum. The headline blared something like, "This year's hottest drama, round 1, rich pretty girl versus slang-slinging side piece, jerk boyfriend can't tell right from wrong, ex-girlfriend spills the tea." And it recapped everything about my argument with Fiona. The love triangle, the girls throwing down, and a few very sensational-looking photos. It went viral fast. Comment after comment slammed Fiona. What does this woman want? They already broke up and she still went to provoke her. She obviously did it on purpose to show off. Is that guy blind or just stupid, liking someone like her? Freshman Emily is so pretty. If you steal someone's boyfriend, getting pummeled serves you right. Some guys even photoshopped Fiona's indecent shots, and the replies were a stream of ha ha ha. When my 2 roommates and I reached campus, one of them got a call that a package had arrived and rushed off to the pickup spot. The other wanted to grab a few bottles of water from the campus shop. I was about to go with her when my phone rang. The caller ID showed a friend I'd met over the summer, Carson Song. While Luke and Fiona were off in Jiuzhaigou, I hadn't bothered going, so my uncle told me my younger cousin had just returned to the country, and a family friend's kid, also a new college freshman, was coming to Hangzhou to play. He told me to join them. With my cousin as guide, Carson and I toured all sorts of sites around Hangzhou, and naturally we added each other and exchanged contact info. I answered, and Carson went straight in. "Emily, are you going to Liberty Crest University too?" "Yeah," I said. "My mom wants to send me abroad." And I agreed. "What's up?" he groaned. "I don't know what got into the old man at home. He's dead set on sending me to Liberty Crest University. Says it's a noble school, but it's chaos, and my spoken English is hopeless. I'm freaking out." On the other end, it sounded like Carson had been holding it in forever, and finally found someone to vent to. He wailed. Leaving home for study is basically exile. In ancient times, exile was only 3,000 li. How many li is this? For some reason I burst out laughing. I understood him though. The education in Sioux City is ruthless. He'd clawed his way into a top 985 school. Over the summer he told me his score could have gotten him into Tsinghua or Beta, but he's a homebody so he chose Jinling University instead. Now, 2 weeks into the semester his family wants him overseas. How could he not complain? "It's okay," I said. "My spoken English is passable. We'll stick together when we get there." Good. Lead me, please. I'm panicking," Carson said. I laughed and agreed, then hung up, planning to meet my roommates at the campus shop to buy water and snacks and binge shows together that night. I looked up and saw Luke. His face was dark as iron. I couldn't be bothered. I turned to run, but he grabbed me. "Emily," he barked, "what's supposed to mean? You're going abroad to study?" I nodded. "Yeah," I said. "I'm going abroad, leaving right after National Day in October. My mom has already arranged for people over there to handle my enrollment and even purchase a place to live." As I said that, I started to walk away again, but Luke clamped down on my wrist and dragged me aside, his tone nasty as he shouted, "Emily, all this over a cup of brown sugar tea? You threw a tantrum, hit people, cursed them out, Made it blow up online, and now you're running off? I'm telling you, I don't agree. I absolutely will not agree to you studying abroad. I honestly found it ridiculous. I shook off his arm and asked, "Who do you think you are? Since when do I need your permission to study abroad? Don't be shameless. We're just neighbors and classmates who happen to know each other. What right do you have to meddle in my private life? Stop yapping beside me." Right then, Fiona ran up. Seeing Luke standing near me, she pulled the same old stunt, one arm hooked around his neck, the other pointing at me, as she laughed. "Fuzzy Emily, didn't you say you and Luke were over? Why are you looking for him again? Don't tell me you're planning to kneel and apologize to make up. Ha ha ha." I said coldly, "Fiona, I don't play your sneaky little schemes, and I'm not shameless like you, no spine, calling him your bro. While you volunteer yourself for his bed so your bro can enjoy himself first. Take your Luke and get lost. You're filthy, don't stain my eyes." I headed toward the campus shop, but that shameless man still followed and blocked me. "Emily, let's talk," he said. I stopped and asked, "Luke, what exactly do you want? Can you keep your distance from me? Do you have any idea how annoying you are?" Luke ground his teeth. "Emily, I told you I don't agree to you going abroad. I don't agree, don't you understand? Since we were kids, you've never been away from me. If you dare go, then we're breaking up." I actually laughed from anger. "Luke, we already broke up, okay? Who said we broke up?" He snapped, flustered, reaching for me again. I shook him off. "Just over a cup of brown sugar tea, you're breaking up with me?" he yelled, eyes red. "You're heartless," I sneered. "From the moment that woman slapped a stupid nickname on me and you joined in, there was no future for us. She might not know what my name means, but you don't either." If killing weren't illegal, I'd have finished her off. I said to myself. My dad is a soldier. When my mom gave birth to me, he was overseas and had been out of contact for over 3 months. Our whole family waited and waited. My mom gave me the nickname Tuan Tuan, reunion, hoping for our family to be whole. My dad didn't come back until I was 7 months old. My mom asked him to give me a proper name. He thought for a moment and said he'd only survived by luck, while many of his comrades stayed behind overseas, never able to reunite with their families. "Then call her Tuan Tuan," he said. My dad is still all over the world, and he and my mom are often apart. When Fiona transferred from number 2 high to number 1 high, the teacher seated her next to me. I greeted her warmly. "Hi, I'm Emily, Tuan Tuan," as in reunion. She pointed at me and, in that exaggerated tone, lectured. "Tuan Tuan, are you a cat or a dog? After the founding of the nation, no becoming spirits, you know. What a beast cultivated into a person and still insists on carrying an animal's name." In front of everyone, I was stunned, speechless. Our classmates burst into laughter, and after that she kept calling me Fuzzy Emily in all sorts of weird tones. She even said, "Animals with fur always look nicer, so of course you're Fuzzy Emily." I fought with her over it, argued, and even threw hands a few days ago. Every time Luke told me, "She's just joking. Can't you be more generous? Cut her some slack, okay? She's immature. Do you have to be immature with her?" He even wanted me to apologize to Fiona. Yeah, no. I was never going to apologize to her. And between Luke and me, things naturally went from childhood sweethearts, inseparable since we were little, to drifting apart, walking down opposite roads. Feelings don't collapse in a day. There's always a process. Fiona would lecture me, "It's just a joke. Can't you even take a joke?" I sneered. "Fiona, even if I break up with Luke, he won't choose you. You're not only ugly, you're filthy. He's just sleeping with you for free, playing with you for free, because you throw yourself at him. He'll keep using you as long as he can." As for Luke, I was his little sweetheart, the girl who'd trailed after him since we were kids. He was arrogant enough to think, "She loves me, so I can push her around." So he got his free fun with his female bro while keeping a grip on his childhood girlfriend, living his dream of swaggering through springtime, trashy and cruel. Just then, my 2 roommates came over carrying water and snacks, plus a big box. I hurried to help. "Your ex is looking for you," one roommate gossiped, wide-eyed. Later I heard that after my roommates and I went back to the dorm, Luke and Fiona had a huge fight under the girls' dorm building. It got nasty, and Luke ended up slapping her. On top of that, people dug up Fiona's whole pick-me routine, and her original roommates couldn't stand her either. She was always squeezing into groups of guys, going on and on about, "You women are so delicate." She never did any dorm chores, saying that kind of work was born for women, and she was a real man. Naturally, no one indulged her. After the blow-up and the cold shoulder, Luke came to find me twice more, begging me not to go abroad and asking me to get back together. Weirdly enough, every single time, Fiona showed up right on cue. I even wondered if she had Luke under remote surveillance. How else did she time it so perfectly? I rolled my eyes and snapped at the pair of them. Scumbag and cheap girl, stay away from me, get lost, that sort of thing. I'm not great at cursing anyway. Lately I've been busy grinding my spoken English. I had no choice. Carson kept wailing that he was terrified of going abroad and turning into a mute who couldn't communicate. My uncle said Carson's family had arranged a nanny and bodyguards and a tutor to go with him, and he was still panicking. He even got me a little anxious. My mom had also arranged a companion tutor and an assistant for me. As National Day drew near, I said goodbye to my roommates, then to my teachers and counselor. Over the holiday, I also met up with a few old friends to say goodbye. Carson's family even had someone pick an auspicious date and decided October 7 was perfect for travel. So I packed my bags and headed to the airport with my people, Shanghai Pudong. Carson showed up in sunglasses with 3 attendants. When he saw me, he hurried over. "Emily, are you nervous?" he asked. He asked if I was nervous. Honestly, I hadn't been. When I was younger, I'd tag along with my mom or my uncle all over the place. It wasn't until high school, when coursework got heavy and every winter and summer break was packed, that I stopped having time to travel. But for some reason, maybe because he was anxious, I got anxious too. A little, I admitted. My assistant went to change my boarding pass and check my luggage, and Carson kept holding my hand. That's when I realized he really was nervous. "Why is your family suddenly sending you abroad?" I asked carefully. Setting aside that my major got switched to some super niche track, my family had always planned to send me overseas. "But why you now?" He lowered his voice by my ear. The old man made a bit of money in Southeast Asia, not even much, and stirred up a pile of trouble. So now they're sending me abroad. Basically, I'm being exiled. I was about to answer when a sharp, accusing shout cut in. "Emily, that's your reason for going abroad. You're fickle, you're two-timing, do you have any shame?" I looked up and saw Luke. Carson still had my hand from our conversation, and before I could reply, he glanced at Luke and smiled at me. "Emily, this the gentleman who ditched you to take his female bro to Jushigo?" I nodded with a small smile. "Back when I ran off to Hangzhou, I'd told my cousin about it. Carson was there and even tried to comfort me." Luke reached out to grab me, but Carson tugged me behind him and said, "Emily, I figured your boyfriend would be from a background like ours, equally handsome and polished. But he's just ordinary." Luke wasn't bad-looking, tall, broad-shouldered, a decent face. Among a crowd he counted as attractive. But next to Carson, the gap was more than a grade or two. Hearing Carson talk him down, Luke exploded. "Who do you think you are? Since when do you get to butt into my business with fuzzy Emily?" Rage flared in me. I swung and slapped him hard across the face. He froze, clutching his cheek. "You hit me for him," he shouted. "What did you just call me?" I said coldly. Luke blinked, then fumbled into an apology. Sorry, Emily. I slipped. It just came out." "Came out naturally?" I laughed without warmth. "Fiona gave me an insulting nickname, and you naturally use it?" "Emily, he stammered, but I was done. I turned back to Carson. "Let's talk about how we're going to manage life overseas," I said. "You're panicking." Luke wouldn't quit. He buzzed in my ear, nagging, "Emily, don't go abroad, okay? From now on, I'll listen to you. I swear I won't hang out with Fiona anymore. I'm sorry, last time was my fault. I shouldn't have given your brown sugar tea to someone else." I decided to spell it out, calmly. "Luke, first understand this. We're over. Childhood sweethearts aren't reliable. Starting in our sophomore year of high school, you liked Fiona. You skipped class together, gamed together, smoked together, went to Jushigo together, and together you gave me that nickname, mocking me, humiliating me for fun. Emily," he blurted, flustered. "It's not like that. It's not. This is wrong. I don't agree to breaking up, absolutely not. Don't go. I won't let you go. If you leave, I'll die and make you watch." His eyes were bloodshot, his words a mess. I gave a small laugh. Luke, we already broke up. We blocked each other a while ago. If you want to die, that's on you. It has nothing to do with me. Don't tell me you love me. With what love? You crawl out of another woman's bed and run over here saying you love me. You even reek of Fiona's cheap perfume. If you don't find that disgusting, fine, but don't come here to disgust me. I truly didn't get it. All Golden Week, Luke tried every trick to corner me, throwing out corny lines with one goal: to stop me from going abroad and keep me in school at home with him. And Fiona? It was like she had a tracker on him. She always managed to find him at the worst possible moments. They drove me up the wall. I knew they'd booked rooms together many times starting senior year. The first time was in a private booth at an internet cafe, a total blackout blur. I'm not into spying, but Fiona sent me something after every time. Then there were the school bathrooms, bars, cheap motels, and in Jushigo they even did it outdoors, rolling on the ground under the sky. Luke, I told you we were done at the start of senior year, I said. We broke up then, at least in my heart. You've been just the neighbor boy, a friend, not the boyfriend I want in college. That day I asked you to grab my takeout, I was treating you like a neighbor and a friend, mostly because my 2 roommates were busy. I refused to accept that niche major, and I didn't want to go abroad, not because of you, but because if I left, my mom and I would see even less of each other. My dad is always away, my mom's lonely, and I wanted to stay with her. None of that has a thing to do with you. Fiona loves you. Don't waste it. I hooked my arm through Carson's and headed for the terminal entrance. In the distance, I saw Fiona hurrying toward us. Carson's family had bought a small villa near Liberty Crest University. My mom wanted to buy one too, but everyone at that kind of elite school has money. She moved a bit too slowly and missed out. So Carson asked me to share his place. I was a little nervous about a foreign country, and having a companion sounded good. That's how we settled in, studying, hanging out, starting to get involved with our family's businesses, our horizons widening bit by bit. By year's end, Carson confessed to me. I thought it over and said yes. He's handsome, well-built, and comes with a fortune. Dating him felt effortless. Even after I left, with how fast information moves, I still heard things from home. That day, Luke and Fiona had a huge fight. On top of that, Luke found out Fiona had installed a location tracker on his phone, so she literally knew where he was at all times. Meanwhile, Uncle Lou ran into trouble with his business. Cash flow tightened. He mortgaged the factory and tried to borrow from my mom. She refused. With no choice, he went to the bank. But big loans like that are handled cautiously. After the initial review and a second review, the bank told him he didn't meet the requirements. For a deal like that, the Lou family's big deal collapsed. A few other problems piled on, and the Lou's teetered on the edge of bankruptcy. When people get desperate, they turn superstitious, so Uncle Lou went everywhere praying and making offerings. A master told him, "Mr. Lou, your household has been tainted by something unclean, an ominous sign. If you don't resolve it, within a year, you'll not only lose your assets, but there'll be bloodshed." Uncle Lou hurried to ask how to break the curse. After studying his face and palm, the master drawled, "Mr. Lou, your features are upright. You're not the one stained. It must be someone very close to you. To resolve it is simple. Sever ties with that person." Uncle Lou thanked him profusely and went home to find the so-called source of filth. Aunt Lou had been dead for over 5 years, brain cancer discovered at the terminal stage, and she passed within half a year. That left only Luke. Uncle Lou discovered his son was tangled up with a girl of questionable background. Only then did he learn I'd already gone abroad. He'd always assumed Luke and I were doing fine, childhood sweethearts, inseparable. Went to Jushigo together, started college together. Now he realized that wasn't true at all. Remembering how my mother had refused his factory-backed loan, he flew into a rage and dug into Fiona's past. He found that her parents were killed in a car crash, literally bodies on the street, leaving behind, as he put it, a debt collector spirit of a daughter. Worse, in high school, her private life was a mess. She was caught fooling around with a bleached hair punk in the girls' dorm. A classmate happened to walk in, screamed, and ran out. No Too High didn't want a scandal damaging its reputation, so they pushed for a transfer. That's how she ended up at number 1 high. Uncle Lou went back to the master, who pinched his fingers, calculated, and sighed. "Mr. Lou, Go home. That girl clashes with father and mother. Great misfortune. Your son has already had relations with her. They can't be cleanly separated. If you can bear it, move your son's household registration out, and don't give him a cent. Only poverty can suppress this miasma. Uncle Lou tried to leave an offering, but the master refused, saying it would be sinful to take it. So Uncle Lou called Luke home, gave him a thorough beating, and the next day used his connections to transfer Luke's household registration back to their hometown in Huicheng. He gave him no money. He even found a notary and drew up papers stating that even after his death, none of his property, houses, stocks, the factory, the company would go to Luke. If he was going to sever ties, he would sever them completely. He told Luke, "Don't blame me for being ruthless. Blame yourself for inviting filth into our home. I won't be dragged down into ruin or end up dead in the street because of you." Luke was legally an adult, so he had no grounds to demand support, but he was only a college freshman. He had no money and nowhere to go. Uncle Lou threw him out. The part that made me want to laugh and cry was this. After Aunt Lou died, Uncle Lou got together with a woman named Faye, who had a 15-year-old daughter, pretty, gentle, sweet-tongued. Within a year, Faye got pregnant and gave Uncle Lou a son, whom they named Leo Lou. He's 3 years old now. Faye's daughter was delicate as a porcelain doll, and Uncle Lou adored her. As for Luke, he was fed up. After driving Luke out, he brought Faye and her girl, let's call her Lily, into the house, and the three of them settled into a peaceful, happy life. From our neighbors, I heard that Uncle Lou treated his new wife and that adopted daughter exceptionally well. Strangely enough, once he severed ties with Luke, his business picked up. By year's end, he landed a major contract, which only deepened his faith in the master's words. All that run of bad luck had come from Luke bringing filth into the family. The same filth that had supposedly overwhelmed Fiona's own parents. Vicious to the core, he thought. Luke still didn't know when to quit. He came around a few times making scenes, which only made Uncle Lou loathe him more. Luke started living off loans. After hitting up all his old buddies, he even called me to borrow money. I hung up in silence and blocked his number. Honestly, the master wasn't entirely wrong. Both Luke and Fiona felt toxic. Keeping my distance seemed safest. Luke's life slid into a deep trough. Because he kept borrowing, people mocked him and gave him the cold shoulder. He tried taking part-time jobs, but student wages were low, and after 2 years of running with Fiona, he picked up plenty of bad habits. His temper was awful. He couldn't settle down and put in steady work to support himself. He began replaying his life. The Lou family had been well off. He used to have fistfuls of pocket money, and me, the pretty girl next door. We'd always had fun together. After he met Fiona, she constantly needled me, and I fought with her. Every time he jumped in, and then I fought with him. After each blow-up, Luke would regret it and want to apologize and make up, but every time he came to find me, Fiona clung to him like a shadow, like a bone in the throat. She'd snipe in that mocking tone and set us off again. On and on it went until I went abroad and drew a hard line. Thinking it through, from the moment he met Fiona, she egged him on to do one reckless thing after another: smoking, drinking, hanging out in internet cafes, skipping class, renting rooms. She even pushed him to alter my college preferences. They left me stranded at the airport while they went to Jiuzhaigou a day early. Luke also realized that because they went ahead to Jiuzhaigou, I went to Hangzhou instead and met Carson Song. He took that as fate between me and Carson. Then Uncle Lou remarried and Luke was swept out of the house. The more he thought about it, the more it all seemed to circle back to Fiona. He decided the master had been right. Fiona was a curse, and he was unlucky because he'd been tainted by her. His mindset unraveled. He went around asking people how to get rid of unclean taint. Then both he and Fiona disappeared. Fiona was an orphan and unpopular at school. As for Luke, he'd borrowed and never paid back, so classmates figured he'd gone to dodge his debts. No one bothered looking. Half a month later, someone called the police to report a mutilated female corpse found at an abandoned factory in the east of the city. When officers arrived and investigated, they identified the body as Fiona's. Her body was covered in all kinds of injuries. Wounds of every size covered her. Unforgivable, unspeakable. Her tongue had been cut, her eyes gouged, all 4 limbs broken, and yet there was no single fatal wound. They said she died in agony, day by day, from sheer torture. The police quickly identified Luke as the suspect, and the arrest went smoothly. He laid out the whole crime in detail. The methods were so vicious that even veteran detectives were shaken. Filth, filth, I beat the filth to death, Luke raved, laughing and babbling. Emily, I killed the filth. Are you happy now? Let's get back together. Don't go abroad. He dropped to his knees and kowtowed. Emily, I'm sorry. It was all that filthy thing's fault. Later, a psychiatric evaluation found he had a severe mental disorder. He was confined to a cramped cell in a psychiatric hospital, muttering the same lines every day. Filth. I've been tainted by filth. What do I do? When I learned he'd killed Fiona, I couldn't make sense of it. As a woman, I knew she liked him. She used her body to please him and treated me as a rival. She threw tantrums and stirred up trouble but wouldn't simply say, Luke, let's be together. She insisted they were just bras. And Luke was just as rotten, eating from the bowl while eyeing the pot, having his fun with his bro, and still clinging to me, the girl next door. I don't even know how they both lost their minds and veered into extremity. He was a college student. Even if Uncle Luke cut him off in a fit of anger, he could have found a job, studied properly, and supported himself. How did it come to this? Epilogue. I've been doing well abroad. I met new friends and started dating Carson Song. Sweet and easy. Sometimes a few of us get together to play mahjong for fun. We found out that a senior 1 year above us, let's call him Sean, was actually the provincial top scorer in science from Sioux City that year. Carson and I felt instantly better. See? It's not just the two of us, unlucky exiles shipped overseas. The top scorer got exiled too. When we teased him, even that science champion wailed, so studying abroad really is exile. Exactly how many miles are we being exiled?